Welcome back. Special voting has gotten off to mostly a smooth start. Some regional IEC officers have held briefings. Let's check in with our reporters, Siphamandla Goge in Bloemfontein. Our reporter Aviwe Mtila is in East London, and Govan Whittles is in Gqeberha. We'll start with you, Aviwe. Speak to us about how special voting has been going in the province.
A bit slow this morning, Heidi. We've only seen actually one special vote at the City Hall. In fact, we've been crisscrossing the breadth of East London with IEC officials, Mtila, as well as Gqeberha, just to get the elderly voting at their homes. The first home we were met with, there were no people. It's since been changed into officers. Address incorrect there. The second home, the elderly lady that we visited didn't have her documentation with her, so she was told then to come vote on Monday, but she'll still be given preferential treatment and given the chance to vote before anyone else. We are now in our third home, third time lucky, in Fleet Street, where Umama Primrose Magqwala is about to cast her vote. And you can see the IEC officials here already underway. I'm going to sit next to Umama just to get a sense of why she's voting. Mama, you 71-year-olds, uhlala apa mama for since 1996. Impilo injani apha inkonzo niyazifumana ngohlobo olufana nisifumana ngalo?
Hayi, inkonzo siyazifumana kule ndawo ke sihleli kuyo. Cha into enantsikayo esikhathazayo ngamanzi, zibhilling zamanzi.
Zitheni ibhilling zamanzi mama?
Hey, ziba phezulu. Ziba phezulu kakhulu.
Izinto ezinikhe nizithethe nomasipala. Uthini ke xa nizibhekisa kwezinto?
Kaloku uyaya wena uyi-individual, uyaya uyokhalaza. Bakulungiselele ke ngexesha bazophinde baziride everything.
So Heidi, she's been saying here since 96. The one major issue is around the water billing, quite exorbitant. Mama, you're about to cast your vote now with the IEC officials setting up. Now, Mama, ungasixelela ubuzovotela ntoni kodwa lo muntu uzamvotela yintoni ofuna anenzele yona, ulindele ntoni kuye?
Ndilindele uba alungisele ezilento ezibhilling zamanzi. Otherwise enye into nenye into nenansi nelento nee-services ziyenziwa kakuhle, nemigqomo iyathathwa yonke imihla kule ndawo yethu.
Oh, okay. Okay, not many complaints from Mama Primrose Magqwala here, saying that the one major issue, Heidi, that she wants sorted out is the water, the water billing issue. Otherwise, she says her refuse collection around Quickney, the East London area near the beach, gets collected timelessly. She's now final preparations being done here by Mtila as well as Gqeberha, the IEC officials, of course flanked by the party agents as well from the EFF and Usis Busiswa there, as she's about to cast her vote and the final preparations being done here. But I'm going to let you go to my other colleagues while we just get the final teas ready for Mama Primrose Magqwala as she's about to cast her vote in the local government elections.
Okay, Govan, we'll be crossing over to Govan now in Gqeberha. We do understand that there is some commotion. Govan, speak to us about what could have possibly sparked this and what is happening on the ground.
Yeah, Heidi, a little scuffle breaking out here just outside one of the voting stations here in KwaNobuhle, where we are. It's not related to rival political parties. I know that one of the women that was actually hit by one of the men around here was wearing an ANC t-shirt, and the guy appeared to be sitting with the EFF people, but this argument started way before then. It's not related to the political parties, and I must admit that the people who were fighting have arrived here earlier and they were slightly intoxicated, and there does seem to be a jovial atmosphere around this area, but we are trying to measure exactly how the special votes will go. There you'll see some members of the ANC intervening. The lady in white is also from the DOP party. That's a group of independents, and they were trying to mobilize some support people to come and vote here, but there are only 115 people scheduled to cast their special votes at this voting station. over 2 days, so they aren't expecting much traffic here. It's more the parties that are here are actually here to see whether the IEC is ready for the election and whether or not everything is in place to conduct it freely and fairly. And let's speak about the election now. Joining me is Helen Sauls-August. She's the Deputy Secretary for the ANC in the Eastern Cape. She's been doing a tour of the voting stations here in Nelson Mandela Bay. You could perhaps answer this question. In 2016, the ANC structures seemed to be divided all over the place. They were de-campaigning, they weren't campaigning, and it led to very poor turnout. In 2016 you lost the metro. You've got the benefit of hindsight now. How do you compare what's happening this time versus what happened in 2016?
Well, it's clear that we have learned our lesson from the mistakes that we've made. I think one of the important issues was also around the issue of the candidate nomination. And if you look at what the ANC this time around have done, is that branches would nominate, but they would take those nominations to the community for them to decide who ultimately they would want. And community members came out in large numbers making a decision. I think that is one of the primary reasons why you have the stability. Also, I think we need to give cognizance to the fact that the RTT that we have put in place here after the disbandment of the former REC have brought stability into Nelson Mandela, making sure that the structures are politically serviced and also that the community at the end of the day there is visibility of the ANC within the structure.
What does that mean for voting day? In 2016 we saw ANC members, activists refusing to go fetch people to bring them to the voting stations. Are you saying this time around your entire structures across the metro will be out fetching people, bringing them to the voting stations?
Well, I'm very confident that in our strongholds that is exactly what you will be seeing. We are also confident that in wards like Ward 43 here in Gqeberha in Gqeberha, where there was a mistake with the issue of the candidate registration, that we are going to win back that ward and we are going to win it decisively. Also, Ward 38, you will know that we have lost that ward this year. We are very, very confident, as well as Ward 40 that we have lost previously. Those are the three wards that we know will push up drastically the numbers. But overall, it's not only those three wards, because the structures, their stability, they have done the work, they have consulted the people. Just by the look of the special votes that we have for the 2 days, it is already a step in the right direction for the organization. And with the volunteers being committed, the BET coordinators, VD coordinators, door knockers, street coordinators that we are having there, we are confident that this time around you'll see a different picture in Nelson Mandela.
All right, thank you so much. That's Helen Sauls-August, she's Deputy Secretary, and out of shot you would have seen the police coming by here. There's also a lot of PPE being used by the IEC, so it looks like everything is in order at this voting station. Just that scuffle there a little bit earlier, but it does look like they've intervened and were able to calm the situation now.
Thank you so much for that, Govan, and I hope that the police do intervene with that scuffle just behind you. We move over to Siphamandla Goge, who's in the Free State. Siphamandla, speak to us about the IEC and some of the issues that the Free State could be facing at voting stations.
Just slight challenges really since the opening of the voting stations this morning at 8 o'clock. About 14,000 of them, only 3 we are told by the IEC in the Free State had issues. One of them was the issue with the voting station being locked. They couldn't find the landlord to unlock the voting station on time. Someone had to intervene to ensure that the voting station is opened. But all is well now as we speak. And also one other station, there was an issue there with envelopes not arriving on time. But the IEC in the Free State says that has been sorted out. So there's been those minor and slight glitches really. But other than that, the bulk and the majority of voting stations opened on time. You will not have long queues here. You will not have people trickling in numbers to come and cast their ballots because these are special votes. So in the Free State, the provincial picture is that you've got about 85,000 people who have registered for special votes. About 35,000 or so of those are classified as home visits. So you will have IEC officials going across the province visiting people, the elderly, people with disabilities, and those with special needs who need to be assisted to cast their ballot. So you won't have people queuing here. Those that have been able to vote have just come in, cast their ballots, and then they will leave. You know, earlier on we were able to interview some of the people who have voted. It's either they have applied for special votes because they are working, or they will not be in their areas where they should vote because of work commitments. So they have applied for special votes. But let's take a listen to what the IEC in the Free State has said about those minor glitches when the polling stations opened this morning.
It was not all that smooth. Out of 14,034 voting stations, about 3 did not open in time. One in Masilonyana municipality, the presiding officer, the landlord, did not have the keys. He did not provide the keys. His cell phone was off, but fortunately the nearby farmer offered his venue as a voting station. Now the voting station is open as we speak. The second one is in Heilbron. In Heilbron we also had a challenge wherein the presiding officer did not have the keys. Now in Metsimaholo we have 5 tents that were blown away yesterday. But this morning when voting started, the owner of those tents had already repitched those tents.
Siphamandla, while logistical issues have been identified, do we know of any security challenges in the area?
Well, not much. Of course, minor challenges that are being reported, but what we have observed is that in each and every voting station across Bloemfontein, where we are at the moment, and across the province, there are police officers that are deployed there. Remember, elections are issues of national security, so you will have a heavy deployment of police officers, and to a certain extent, it will not be surprising to have an army being deployed because this is a matter of national security. So those polling stations that we have visited, we have spotted police officers inside the voting stations, and of course monitoring and patrolling outside to ensure that everything is smooth. There is nothing that will disturb these elections and that will hinder people from exercising their democratic rights of voting for their local representatives. Let's take a listen to the IEC in the Free State unpacking the issue of security measures in place.
We have trained the SAPS, the SANDF, that are there waiting to assist us should there be a case where we are not able to enter into voting stations as the electoral staff. Then there will be contingency staff for us to work for us. And also there is a high visibility of police in all the wards or all the municipalities.
That was Siphamandla Goge in Bloemfontein, as well as our reporter Aviwe Mtila in East London and Govan Whittles in Gqeberha.